Hi, this is Gail with Gail's Southern Living. I live in Central Texas, Garden Zone 8A. So this down here is my deal. I also planted some lemon balm in this area. And I have some zinnias and some other flowers here to the left. And I have some tomatillas planted here. I have multiples coming up in this area. I have one coming up here, and I don't have any coming up here. So if these are all good, I might transplant one of these over to here, but I'm going to wait till it gets a little bit bigger. And I have cardboard underneath with holes cut in it so I can keep down the weed pressure. Also, it's composting for next year. So that's awesome. And then down here on the other end, I planted ground cherries. And there's a couple, that one and that one, that I think might actually be ground cherries possibly. I have some zinnias down here on the end. Okay, here is my carrot baby pool here. I have quite a bit of carrots coming in, and I have planted more. And I was worried it would be too short, so I actually planted a few in this trash can right here. Here is my single seed challenge and a Blinken tomato. Okay, here is my tomato bed. It's pretty long. So I'm hoping this is basil. There's a tomato there, a little one there and there, tomato there. These were from under the grow light. Some tomatoes in between. A tomato there. I think that might be basil. There's a tomato here. Some things coming up in between. A tomato here. Some tomatoes there and there. And I'm hoping these are zinnias, but I'm not completely sure. I'm gonna let them get up a little further and decide. And I believe there's zinnias down here and possibly some basil. So I'm just going to let everything get up a little bit higher. You see I've got it composted at the back with leaves and sticks. And I'll just let that break down however long it takes. It also keeps the weed pressure on the back of the bed down. So that's awesome. I have 2 volunteer sunflowers that came up. I'm going to let those grow here. I've been watering them. And this is my hyacinth vine. It seems to be doing well. Hubby went ahead and caged these 2 peppers for me. The one on the right is a jalapeno. The one on the left is a cayenne pepper. They seem to be doing well, but the cayenne pepper was a little top heavy. It looked like it was going to fall over. I did top both of these plants according to a video that I watched. Hopefully I did it right. I don't know. Anyway, the weather was getting a little rough, so I wanted to make sure they had a little protection. I have some flowers coming up in the trash can. I have some nasturtiums, some marigolds, some moss rose, some amaranth, more marigolds, several different kinds of flowers coming up here. And this tire is full of flowers. This tire has climbing flowers, and I did recently plant some radishes, but that was pretty recently, so they're probably not, going to be up yet. And I have some flowers planted here, also some climbing flowers. I have radishes in here, and one pickling cucumber there, and looks like one's about to come up right there. 2 pickling cucumbers here, and the rest are radishes. And I have 2 or 3 loofah. The rest of these are radishes. And I have 3 loofah here, and the rest are radishes. Okay, my lettuce is still looking good. I have mixed multiple different lettuces. Down here on this end, I have collard green. I pulled some off of this side over here and used it. So you could tell it's kind of uneven right here, but it's because I used some of it. I have a collard green there. Not completely sure what this is right here. This is not a collard green, I don't think. Maybe it is. Maybe that's a collard green too, but look, it looks like it's different colors. And then that one right there is a collard green as well. But I have multiple lettuces coming up here. I had arugula down on this end, but after making our first salad, hubby and I decided we didn't like it. So I pulled up the amaranth and gave it to the, amaranth, I don't mean amaranth. I pulled up the arugula and gave it all to the chickens, and I planted a squash there. Okay, this bed has lettuce in it as well, and some amaranth. You could tell the reddish pinkish color there. I'm trying to harvest it as much as I can. My sage is going to seed. The flowers are kind of dying off and starting to look brown, but I have to wait till somewhere between September and November to harvest the seed. So that's what it looks like right now. Okay, this is pepper bed number 1. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 peppers, 6, 7 peppers coming up. And this one right here was a transplant from under the grow light. I decided I didn't want to have the stuff under the grow light anymore. I was done with that. So I went ahead and transplanted this one. So we'll see if it survives. I have bell pepper in there. Looks like multiple things are coming up, so I might end up with some bell pepper. Bachelor buttons, nasturtium, zinnias, I believe. Parsley, looks like I could probably harvest parsley. I just recently planted lavender in the white pot there. Thyme, which is just kind of going slow. Oregano, that might be a little bit of oregano there. I'm not exactly sure what it looks like. I've never grown it before. So I went ahead and replanted the butternut squash in these 2 tires here, so that's why they're empty. Marigold, and I think the hot pink bucket has multiple different flowers in it. This is acorn squash. There's about 2 or 3 of them. All the seed I planted came up, so yeah, so that's going to have a lot in it. I went ahead and this is the acorn squash I got from groundskeeper Cody. That one is coming up, and there's more planted, so that might come up here soon. And this is a yellow squash. Marigold, Alyssum, yellow squash. This is my best looking squash right here. This is the acorn. On this side I have zinnias. What's that one say? California poppies. Multiple different flowers. Some amaranth. That's all the pots that are in this area. It's about to rain, so I'm going to have to hurry. Okay, this one right here is the sedum. Tomatillas are coming up. I have 1 tomatilla coming up there. This one has marigolds and hyacinth vines coming up. Tomatilla coming up. Little tiny tomatilla coming up. This would be the strawberry. And this is my volunteer sunflowers, and then I added a few sunflower seeds and maybe a few other flower seeds in this area. So this is, I went ahead and bricked it off so hubby wouldn't run it over with the lawnmower or weed eater. Quick look at the zucchini bed. Marigolds down here at the end. Here's my zucchini. These are the marigolds I did under the grow light. Here's the zucchini. I have 1 hyacinth vine planted there, which will grow up on this pole if it gets going good enough. Both these marigolds were under the grow light. These are my zucchini. Looking pretty good so far. And this marigold was also under the grow light. So doing the marigolds under the grow light was a great idea. Marigolds down here in this pot. Okay, this is the second pepper bed. In the middle there, I have flowers. And then I have some peppers, one there, multiple peppers coming up this bed. If all the peppers that I planted come up in this bed, this is going to be quite a monster worth of peppers here. So I planted some snake of Mugla, Jimmy Nardello peppers, sweet peppers, tangerine sweet peppers, jalapenos, and some California Wonder bell peppers in here. So lots of different peppers. If they all come up, this is going to be crazy, and I'm going to have to figure out what to do with peppers. So we'll see what happens. All right, tour of the wild garden. So tons of sunflowers coming up, but they're not have the flowers yet. But underneath you could see there's some different plants growing. Gourds, pumpkins. There's a little bit of weeds, a little bit of grass in here. This is the one I transplanted, the one that looks kind of rough. I transplanted this from the tomato garden. Multiple other things coming up that I can't recognize. Sunflowers down here. Another gourd or pumpkin. I could tell they're all squished together. It's something that died here and is coming back because I let all the pumpkins and gourds die down here. So I don't know what was put in this specific area, but we'll find out. This little patch of dirt has something planted in it. I want to say it's the birdhouse gourds. Some plants coming up here, but I can't recognize them. I don't remember what I planted here either. There's the pumpkin from under the grow light there on the right. Then something else is coming up. Multiple things coming up here. I also planted honeydew melon. That might be what that is. But you can see there's different pumpkins and gourds underneath all the sunflowers. So that's what's happening in the wild garden. And there's a hyacinth planted there, but it didn't come up, so I might throw another seed in the ground. This hyacinth is coming up. This is the new pumpkin bed I'm making. This is the old desk that's kind of disintegrating, looking bad. But right here with the log and the bricks, that's where I made to put the pumpkins. And I was going to plant the regular jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, but I won some giant pumpkins from Sandy. So what I'm going to do is plant them here, but I'm going to let them grow out that way. That way it'll grow toward the other things in the wild garden. I'll just get all the vines going that way, toward where they can vine out. All the vines will go that way. So I'll put one plant here, and they'll all go that direction, toward the wild garden. I planted one squash right there just to throw off the bugs. And the rest of this is all flowers and vines. And this cardboard here represents another section I'm going to get together for next year. This is where the hollyhock was planted. But it's probably going to come up with a lot of weeds and stuff because I don't know what the hollyhock looks like. So I'm just going to let all this come up, and then maybe the hollyhock will be in there somewhere. Okay, that was my garden tour for the first week of May 2023. You guys have a great day. Be blessed. Do something kind, guys. Happy growing.